What up, YouTube? It's your boy Alex J, man. We finally back with him. The NFL offseason, as everybody knows, man, in between the months of like February after the Super Bowl and March, all the way up into the draft, we get some free agency news, things like that, with guys signing the new teams and things like that. But for the most part, the news is relatively inconsistent. It's not a lot of just big blockbuster things that happen. Kind of is, but for the most part, it is pretty slow. So I just had decided to take some time off. But we finally back with it, and we finally back up in this thing. It was a couple of things here this past offseason that went my way, things that didn't go my way. Justin Fields ended up going to the Jets. Shout out to my boy DK Metcalf for signing that deal and making sure he come over here to try to see if he can get us to having 7, But with the draft being this week, with the draft being this Thursday, and the Pittsburgh Steelers still not necessarily having a quarterback for the future on their roster, there are some things that are going to be definitely happening. But in all, I'm really excited to finally get to see the draft because of the fact that a lot of the speculation and things like that go over, really all the way back to like December, you could say, because that's whenever a lot of teams knew that they weren't going to make the playoffs, and a lot of teams started getting they draft selections, or not the draft selections, but they knew where they were going to pick in the draft. That's kind of where you can say a lot of the speculation kind of started. And then, a lot of guys in college, if they're not playing in the college football playoffs, then, they opted out of bowl games and stuff, and then just preparing for the draft, late, probably early December, probably even into November. But now that we finally hear, like I said, the speculation is about to be over with. It actually came out today that Cam Ward was notified that he will be selected by the Tennessee Titans with the first overall pick. So that came out today. There has always been a rule for those teams that are picking first in the draft that they could, whenever you know that you're picking first in the draft, you could select your pick probably as far back as to probably even March. You could let them know hey, we're going to take you in the draft, probably right after the combine and stuff like that. You could let whatever player know that you want to take in the draft that hey, we're taking you. And it just came out today, Tuesday. The draft is the day after tomorrow on Thursday. So they already let Cam Ward know that he's going to be a Tennessee Titan, which is pretty cool. Congratulations to him. It'll still be cool to see him walk across the stage and, get to hug Roger Dale and hold that jersey up and be actually selected with the number 1 overall pick. But right after that, just me personally, I think right after that, the Cleveland Browns are going to select. Man, it's a toss-up because my mind goes back and forth, but I think they're going to end up selecting Travis Hunter. Hearing a GM come out and say that he reminded him of somebody like Shohei Ohtani. There's so many smoke screens that, that's why I say it's a lot of speculation there in this time of year up until now. But for him to come out and say that, then, I just kind of think that means that he really admires, and likes the kind of player that Travis Hunter is. So, it's still yet to be seen, obviously, if he can play both DB and wide receiver in the league. Me personally, I think he's a DB, but man, seeing some of the things he's done, at wide receiver in college, man, he's made some real nice plays and stuff. So it could be argued which other position you'd want him to play, but me personally, looking at his traits and just his skills and stuff, man, he got them super long arms, man. I think he's be really nice. Some analysts have said, maybe 2-3 years from now, he could be the best corner in the league. And I could personally see it because he's built like a Sauce Gardner, and he's super fast, super athletic. He's been playing on both sides of the ball all the way back into middle school, probably Pop Warner, and he was capable of doing it all the way through high school and doing it through college at 2 different programs, playing at Jackson State, and then turn around and going to Colorado for 2 years. I'd say that he's He's probably capable of doing it, probably especially with certain packages, but it's definitely going to be seen. But me personally, I think the Browns are probably going to select him with that pick, and then right after that, the Giants are going to select Abdul Carter. That's, you ask me, in my personal opinion, those are the things that's going to happen. And right after that is where the draft is gonna get it's gonna get funky, man. We go see like we go wonder what's going on. The Patriots, who they go take with their pick right there. Me personally, I think they go grab the best offensive lineman off the board. Then right after that, the Jaguars, the Raiders, the Jets, the Panthers. It'll all be. Like I say, it's good that this is finally happening because all the speculation will be over with. But you can't really just name where these teams are going to go. Could we possibly see the Jaguars trade Trevor Lawrence on draft day? Could we? We've seen the Titans trade A.J. Brown. We've seen big moves on draft day. I wouldn't be surprised if anything happens on draft day. Shedeur Sanders, how far is he going to fall? Because, how far is he going to fall? Last year, we seen Michael Penix get selected to Atlanta with, I think, the 8th overall pick when they had just signed Kirk Cousins and gave him a big extension. They gave him like $100 million, and they end up still using that top draft pick to take a quarterback. So could we possibly see the Raiders at 6 do that with, they just signed Geno, and could we possibly see them take Shedeur? That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what makes me kind of like right now get a little hyped to see, because all the speculation and stuff that's been going on, like I say, back to almost like December when those guys start sitting out of those bowl games and knowing they're not going to the playoffs, what's gonna happen? Like, what could we see happen? Like, the Cowboys picking at 12. Are they cool with Dak just all the way? They just picked up and traded for old boy from New England, Tennessee's old quarterback. What's my guy's name? Man, my brain is bleeping right now. But yeah, they just traded for him, and he has all the upside in the world. I hate that I'm missing on that guy's name right now. But man, and the Colts, what are they gonna do? Are they just sold on Anthony Richardson? Are the Cardinals possibly gonna trade Kyler Murray? Another number 1 overall pick that's gotten a big bag but ain't really necessarily delivered on his end of the deal and things like that. They've been, pretty much under 500 his whole career. They had 1 year where they started off 11-0 but lost quickly in the playoffs the first round, and he had a horrible game that game against the Rams. That's what I love about this time of year, man, because there's always so much speculation, and you never know what's going to really happen until it finally happens. The Tennessee Titans traded A.J. Brown to go to the Eagles, banking on Treylon Burks being the guy to replace him, and then they quickly find out that, hey, no, this ain't that. Like, and then now look, A.J. Brown, these, what was that, 4 years ago? Look at him these years later. Them in the 2 Super Bowls, won in conversation, top 5 in the league. Like, everybody know that. A.J. Brown is 100% a top 5 wide receiver in the league. Top 100%. He Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, and he 100% top 5. CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase. Yeah, He's 100%. He's 100% top 5. But like I say, man, we really don't necessarily know what happened. The receiver, McMillan, coming out of Arizona, where is he gonna fall? Everybody talking about him possibly being the first receiver off the board, but if you listen to Steve Smith Sr., he said that he really don't see him being that good. And back whenever the 2017 draft, whenever Cooper Kupp was coming in the league, he said that he was going to be one of the best way back then. And it's pretty safe to say that he was pretty right on that. He was pretty right on that. I'd have to go back and look and see who was all selected in that draft. But I know Juju Smith-Schuster was selected in that draft because he was selected a few picks before Cooper Kupp. And yeah, seeing the career that Cooper Kupp turned out to have, you know, I don't know, man. We definitely go see. But I'm definitely excited for Thursday now that I'm you know, really looking at the draft board. The Kansas City Chiefs, they pick with the 31st pick in the draft. They would be very, very foolish to not select. I could see the Chiefs trading up. I 100% could. I could see the Chiefs trading up. I could see the Chiefs trading up. And what's his name? Skylar Thompson, that receiver they select him in the first round, but they still go out and go like they just got last year's draft. They selected Xavier Worthy, and look what he did. Like, so I can see them trading him on draft day. You know what I'm saying? Skylar Thompson. We definitely go see, man. It's gonna be some things that happen this year, man. Let me look boy up. Skylar Thompson, that's his name. Ah, man, I'm tripping. That's the quarterback from my guy. Yeah, he actually just got signed up. Let me see. Chiefs. All right, now let's go look at that wide receiver depth chart. All right, depth chart. Oh, boy, that I'm talking about, he has a real similar name to Sky Moore. Sky Moore. He was another guy that was selected. He's a second round pick. I knew he was a high draft pick for the Chiefs. They selected him in the second round of the 2022 draft. I could possibly see them moving on from him because he gonna be wanting to get paid. But from what I be seeing, man, they gonna get guys like Rashid Rice and Xavier Worthy. This dude ain't necessarily done too much for them over the last couple of years. He hasn't. I've seen him get in there and get some plays, but he ain't necessarily just been a factor like that. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Rashid Rice was selected 2023 second 55. You know, like, hey, we gonna see, man. Yeah, see, look, the Chiefs, man, boy, they make sure they load up on receivers, boy. Tyquan Thornton, yeah. So, we're going to see, man. My Steelers real quick. I don't want to go on too long of I know I had y'all long today. I appreciate anybody still tapping in with these videos and giving your boy a chance. But my Steelers, I'm going to be straight up. I hope they select Jalen Milroe just because of the simple upside, man. Just because of the simple upside. Him and Jackson Dart, you know, like I said at the beginning of the video, Cam Ward is already off the board, so that's not an option. Shedeur Sanders, Jalen Milroe, and Jackson Dart. Shedeur is obviously, if you ask me, Shedeur is right now, Shedeur and Jackson Dart, like throwing, they're the best of the three. I seen Shedeur have some nice games at Colorado where he was slinging that thing, man. You got to give it to him. But Jackson Dart throws a nice ball too, man. He has some nice plays all through college. But then when I sit back and I think about Jalen Milroe's upside and knowing that he played at Alabama for 2 years, had 2 real good years, and knowing that he played for 2 different offensive coordinators and they switched up the offense for the second year. You know, college football, man, it don't get no bigger than Alabama, man. Like, it really doesn't. And like I say, man, the upside that I think Jalen Milroe has, him being a threat to run the ball and him having a cannon for an arm like that, just a raw talent he has, man. And being coached by Nick Saban, you know, his first year, and Nick Saban, you know, not being there his second year because he ends up retiring and stops being a college football coach. Man, the kid's coachable, you know what I'm saying? So, man, at that 21st pick, man, man, and I don't want another Kenny Pickett. You know, I don't want another Kenny Pickett, and man, just like I said, I don't want another Kenny Pickett. And sometimes Jackson Dart give me them vibes. I think that Shedeur Sanders will probably get snatched by the Saints, but even if he is there on the board, when it comes to pick 21, man, I'm hoping that we snatch Jalen Milroe just because of the simple fact, man, he go definitely give some excitement. He's gonna bring some excitement to Pittsburgh. And like I say, the upside. It'd be cool if we end up, you know, signing Aaron Rodgers. I never wanted to do that. If you don't see any of my recent videos, you know I never wanted to do that. But right now, it's almost like what are we gonna do? We'll go out there with Mason Rudolph to begin the season? I mean, Mike Tomlin say he's comfortable with doing that, but me personally, he know deep down he don't want to do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, man. As far as the Steelers QB situation, I hope that we go ahead. I hope we go ahead and sign Aaron Rodgers and draft Jalen Monroe, and then after that, we go ahead and draft a bunch of players that we need. I need Cam Hayward's getting old. Go ahead and show up that defensive line. Possibly grab another corner. Well, I'll be wouldn't hurt to grab another offensive lineman either. But really, you can see the Steelers going in a lot on defense. Going in a lot on defense. Definitely a D lineman in the corner. Wouldn't be surprised if any player falls to them and they're like, hey, this is a bona fide stud receiver, and they go ahead and snatch him. Like seeing Chase Claypool come out there and let them know that, announce to the world that draft pick of it being George Pickens that year, obviously I doubt GP would ever do something like that and come out and announce like that. But, that card's closed, so they got to open at the podium. But just with knowing that, if a player falls, that they'll snatch them, they'll definitely do that. But like I say, man, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I appreciate anybody that's been rocking with me and has stayed this long and has watched it up to this point in the video. We're about to watch the draft this week. I'm going to probably most likely come with another video that day and probably Friday going over the first round or what I think is going to happen in the second round. But like I say, I appreciate y'all. God bless y'all. Checking your people. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.